So for working in Python, just like Eclipse or IDEA, in Java, we need PyCharm for Python. Okay, it looks like something like that. Okay, this is the project structure. This is in your editor, and this is your console. Okay, create a new project. You just click on File and New Project, name it anything, and then type create. Click on Create. Here, based on your environment. So basically, right now 3.9 is the latest one. I have 3.8. You can download Python. So for working in Python, you need two things. One, downloading Python. Okay. So here, based on your operating system, you can download Python from here. Latest is 3.9. I'm using 3.8. Okay. Earlier people used to use 2, Python 2. Now mostly have migrated to Python 3. Once you have downloaded and installed Python, you can check Python is installed by running Python command. Here you would see the version of Python. If you don't want to install from there, you can also install from Microsoft Store if you're on Windows. Here, if you search my Python, you would find multiple Python version, and you can just install it from here. You could see 3.9, 3.8, 3.7. PyCharm is can be easily downloaded from JetBrains site, right? Download the community version for free. Other one is paid. Okay, once this is set, one other thing you need, because Python works on, like in Java we have Maven to add dependency, right? In Python, dependency management is done by PIP or pip, right? So if you need to install anything, you will type pip installed and the package name. Let's say you want to install PyTest, or you can say pip install PyTest, and it will look for PyTest. And if it is not present, it will download it. Otherwise, it will say that requirement already exists. Okay, now once all these things are done, you would see uh, this kind of left side pane, and this is Python editor. So just like system.out.println, if in Python, if you want to print anything, the command is print. Okay, let's say hello world, and you can run directly by right click and run as, or by clicking on this. Output would be displayed here. Okay. Now, Python is a dynamic language. What does this mean? So in Java, you would notice during declaration, we had to declare that what kind of data type it is. Like for integer, we would say int, for string, we would say string. But Python does not care about it. It dynamically identifies whether you're storing variable in an integer or a string, and then you don't need to define anything. It based on that particular value, it will automatically capture and show you the value in that particular format. So if I say, let's say age equal to 5, I don't have to define int a here, and I can directly say print a. Okay. And if I say b is equal to 6, and similarly c is equal to Chandan, d is equal to Mishra, and I print the sum of this, a plus b and c plus d, it will automatically identify that in the first case I need to do the sum based on integer, and in second case I need to do the summation on strings. So you don't have to worry about the data types in Python. Okay, so in this case it has added the values, in this case it has appended the value. So this is pretty easy. So you don't have to learn about various types of data types here. Based on your requirement, you just declare a variable and it will automatically handle it at the runtime. Now, once these are basic ones. Just in case in future, sometimes you need to typecast like something to string or something to integer. You could do that. So I could just say this is integer, right? A plus b, but I can typecast it in a string like this. Now it has become string. Okay, I could do some actions on it, string related action on it also. So I could split it, join it. Join means I could add join. Okay, so it has joined all the elements here. So typecasting can be done using this. Now the two multiple entity like list and maps. So list is pretty simple in Python. Again, you don't have to define that this is a list or this is an array. You would just say list and list or my list. You have to be careful that some keywords are reserved keyword, like list is a reserved keyword. That's why I did not use list. See, when I type li, it shows me the list option, right? Built in. This is a built-in function or built-in module. You don't have to use that. So I'm saying my list, and then in opening and closing brackets, I can supply my list like item 1, item 2, item 3, and so on. PyCharm also checks for the grammatical errors. Okay, and generally in if you remember in Java, we wait a second. So we were storing variables like starting with small, then capital, and so on. Here we use underscore. Okay, and now to print items in list, it is pretty simple using for each loop again. For item in my list, colon is used here, and here you don't use like curly braces. You after colon you just enter, and then it actually takes item from this, but so this becomes a block which is inside the for block for each block. This is the block for code, like whole code file. This is the block for each code, code. Okay, so now if I have to print it, it's pretty easy, right? To add anything in the list, just like in Java we had add, here we had append. Okay, similarly to remove, we have remove. Okay, item was added then removed, that's why it is not showing now. So this is how you can play around with list in Python. So maps, Python does not have maps. Python has dictionary. Okay, so the whole concept of map was to store data in key value pairs, right? So dictionary also is a key. So if you see the real dictionary where you have keyword and then the definition, keyword and the definition. Similarly, here dictionary is actually the data type. Sorry, one key is type of the name of the key and then the value of value. Now the advantage here we have is in Java, you have to define this is a string and string type. So the key would be string and the value would be string. Key would be integers and the value would be string or something like that. Here, because there is no definition needed, you could store any type of key and any type of data or value. So the key here is defined in, again, do not use dictionary. So I could say and you can store something like, let's say, name equal to Chandan, age equal to 19. See, I have not specifically told that everything is in string or in string integer or something like that, right? And let's say salary is equal to 40K. Okay, so I have like string, integer, and float in a single dictionary. Okay, you could do that in Java also, but for that you need generics, right? If you remember, here you can do it without generics. You don't have to worry about it also. You can do it in the runtime using again add, append, or remove methods. So everything is dynamic here. Don't have to worry about typecasting or creating generics and etc. etc. So to print value, you say in my dict dot items, and you can print. Okay, you could see name Chandan, age 19, salary 40,000. Okay, there is no issue. I did not to do anything extraordinary here. Everything is pretty simple. So this is about collections and variable storage. Okay, uh, string wise, it has a lot of methods like concatenation can be done using join. Sorry, split can be done. So I could show you. Split can be done using split, lowercase can be done using lowest, replace all or replace can be done using replace, right? Count can be done using count, format, just like format in Java. If you have XPath and you want to format particular value with the customized value during runtime, you can use this. Okay, capitalize for this. So all these functions which are present in Java are also present here. There is no issue in that. Now you would be using variables as well as methods, like, right? So methods are created here using def keyword. So def my method, let's say, and again here you don't have to worry about data return type. If you return, that is okay. If you don't return, that is also okay, because Python will take care of that. If you are returning something, Python will return something. If you're not returning something, Python will not return something. In Java, you don't have you have to specifically define if it is returning, then what type, and if it is not returning, then void, and so on. Here you don't have to worry about that. Again, variables, you can provide param here, so it will ask for param then. Okay, and if you don't provide parameter, it will not ask for parameter. One good advantage here of using parameters, that you can provide the default value. Okay, let's say I have a flag that is prod flag, right? And by default I want to supply is true, or I can say is admin flag. Oh, I'm again using Java first. Java is admin flag, and by default I'm saying it is true. So by default it is false actually. So by default it would be false for normal user, but when I'm testing something related to admin functionality, I'll supply at it is as true. Okay, in my call, like method call. So here I would say if is admin, then I could do some action related to action admin level code. Okay, and normally if it is like a normal code, then print user level code. Again, you have to define this. I keep forgetting this because we don't use in Java or JavaScript, but this is important. And it also suggests like if you have extra parentheses or format is not correct, PyCharm will automatically take care of that. Now, when you call this, let's say I want to return something like, so I could say result is equal to nothing. And if it is an admin, I could say result is equal to admin. And else else result is equal to user. And finally, I could say return result. So once I reformat it and call my method with print, let's add a new file to call the method. And in this way, I will show you the import function also. Okay, so just like Java, here we have import. So let's say I want to import all the functionality of basic samples, right? So now I could say print my, what is it? From basic sample import my method. And now if I try to print my method, let's say parameter is equal to 1 is equal to user, and then see now it is optional. I can provide it, otherwise it would be false, right? Let's print this first. Okay, this is a user level code and this is a user. And if I say admin is equal to true, right? Oh, this is a user level code. Okay, I provided at the wrong area. I'll also show you how to debug here. Right, admin level call admin. Okay, debugging is pretty simple. You just click here, debugging pointer will be added, and now you have to right click and use debug. Okay, and once you do that, you are here, and this is the same functionality which you have in Eclipse, right? Step over, go inside, okay, and step into. Generally, these two are important. So let's into, go inside this code. You can see these are my parameter, these are my values, and now you can execute line by line, right? And that is how you can use debugger and breakpoints in Python PyCharm.